There is still a lot of risk to the downside. We haven't seen David's second, dip in the recession. And again, the sharps think that inflation will come back at some point.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Christian Finance for your regular financial content. And today, as we saw in the intro, we'll be looking at what Chamath, Palihapitiya, yes guys, difficult name to pronounce, has to say about the markets, where he thinks we're going to be headed in the short to midterm, and as well as always, I'll give you my own personal perspective, backed up by graphs and proofs on where we're headed in the short to mid to long term. Now keep in mind, this might be the time that the experts actually now start to reverse their bearishness for the first time in a long time, but let's see what he has to say.
There is still a lot of risk to the downside. We haven't seen David's second, dip in the recession. And again, the sharps think that inflation will come back at some point. The problem is, again, there is still a lot of risk to the downside. We haven't seen David's second, dip in the recession. And again, the sharps think that inflation will come back in the next 6 months.
Yeah, and I mean, I for one, to a large degree, have to agree with Chamath here. I think although a lot of the bad has passed, I don't think that we're on an amazing track yet. If we take a look at inflation over here, I mean, all the way from March, all the way up to now pretty much, the lowest year-over-year inflation we've had was the 8.2 and highest 9.1, right? Over the span of 7+ months, which is a long time. Now, obviously, for the last month, we did receive a 7.7, which is a great improvement for the inflation in the USA. But personally, I'm going to need to see 5, 6, 7 months in a row of under 8% to be somewhat optimistic. Because you guys have to keep in mind, I'll get to in a little bit, we still have a lot of negative macroeconomic factors still looming around.
That will keep the Fed's foot on the gas. Maybe it's 2 or 3 more 50 basis point hikes. The point is, Jason, you could be at 5.5. Again, we said this last week. We're going to get to a point that's probably higher than what people expect. That's probably around 5.5. And we'll stay there longer than people want. That's probably through the middle part of 24.
Well, this now is a point where Chamath and I actually disagree. I don't think that the Feds are going to do another 2 or 3 50 basis points of hikes in the interest rates. I just don't think it's sustainable. 5.5% of interest rates, considering all the macroeconomic factors we have currently, is not reasonable. I see potentially 1 or max 2 more increases in the interest rates, and at tops, it'll be 0.75% total between the two. People have to keep in mind that the more the US increase their interest rates, the more they increase the interest rates of their trillions of national debt, right, that they have to pay at some point. So I think 4.5 is reasonable, right? Anything past 5, I just don't see happening. With that, I just want to take a quick second, ask you guys if you're enjoying the videos, like them, subscribe to the channel. It just takes 1 click. Hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload. I do put a lot of effort into giving you guys these regular financial updates. Only thing asking in return, guys, once again, just subscribe to the channel. I did want to take a quick look at Michael Burry's latest tweet. This was coming because it has always been this way before. How anyone over age of 40 has not seen this coming is a riddle. The answer being greed. And yes, guys, what he's talking about is a constant cycle of when markets are at the bottom, that's when it's human nature to sell, because you think it's going to keep dropping. And then when something rises and it's in a bull market, typically people tend to buy somewhere near the top instead of at this time having a dollar cost average strategy to actually be selling. They're buying at the tops. And then as the markets eventually start to go down, this is where they start to sell, right? So it's a vicious cycle. And unfortunately, it's a cycle that's going to keep on going, right? That's how the rich get richer. So the only way for regular folks to break the cycle is to get educated and have high conviction of their place, right? When all their friends are scared to buy near the bottom, that is when you should be dollar cost averaging, as long as you have a good strategy and you have done your research on that particular index fund or stock or Bitcoin or whatever it may be. Now, I do want to take a quick look at the Dow Jones. It's actually doing extremely well. It's pretty much hit all-time highs for the past 6 months right now, which is just crazy considering where we are. It really hasn't taken any hit. Obviously, individual companies such as Meta and Netflix have been absolutely destroyed in the past year or so, Meta being at 1/3 of the price. Of course, crypto and Bitcoin have been destroyed, around 65% down in the past year. And yeah, guys, this is a time where you want to consider doing your research at a bottom price, right? You should not be buying just because your friends told you at an all-time high price. But this is the right time for you guys to be doing your research at the near bottom price. It's exactly what the gold investor does, Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And that's exactly what he has been doing this year. The price have been crashing, especially earlier in the year. He kept on buying. This was the time that he was buying his high conviction plays. And then last year when everything was near an all-time high, or actually an all-time high, what Warren was doing was he was either selling or holding. I just want to make one thing clear to you guys, that during recessions and depressions, this is a time that most millionaires and billionaires are made, right? Remember that. This is a time for you guys to do your research and consider a dollar cost average strategy into your high conviction plays. This is not financial advice. Just please go on and do your research. With that, guys, video is over. Let me know what similar content you'd like me to do next in the financial space, of course. Subscribe to the channel. It does help me out. And as always, stay diversified.